the Chiefs and Ravens game was the perfect appetizer to what this season is going to be. Or first course, let's say, to what this season is going to be. As I'm recording this now, it is late Friday morning / afternoon. So the Packers and Eagles game has not happened yet. That's happening tonight in Brazil. I have not. So I'm going to obviously give a prediction about it, but by the time you guys watch this or listen to this, the game would have been over. So my prediction can be extremely wrong. I'm just giving you a caveat now. But there is so much to take from that Chiefs and Ravens game, and that's kind of what we're going to do. I'm going to break down this game and give you almost every access point to what we can take from this game, some of the positives, some of the negatives of both. We are going to break down the Chiefs beating the Ravens 27-20 in the season opener. Let's first start, obviously, with the Baltimore Ravens, seeing as though while they did lose the game, there's a lot more storylines coming out of Baltimore and how we should view Baltimore after this game than the Chiefs. When you're great, expectations change. It would be foolish to expect someone that is new, someone that hasn't shown the ability to be great. It's almost naive to expect them to do great things. I'm not saying that the expectations can't change. You know, there's people in football that start off slow and then have an incredible career. The expectations change because we've seen that they can perfect example, Jordan Love. It was naive at first to expect Jordan Love to be great. The limited times we saw him, he didn't look that good. He looked okay in Nevada, but he didn't look like a franchise player. And obviously you were backing up Aaron Rodgers. And every single time he had a shot to be on the field, it didn't look the best. So it would be naive to think that he would go on to be a great quarterback or go on to be a quarterback that can lead the Green Bay Packers to heights that they are kind of accustomed to with the great quarterbacks that they've had. However, we've seen more footage. He's improved. And now the expectation on Jordan Love are a lot higher than they were when we first seen him because we've gotten more information. He has gotten better. And with him getting better, expectations rise. Why am I talking about this? Lamar Jackson has put himself in a tier that warrants high expectation. Lamar Jackson, almost everywhere he's gone, whether we talk about high school, whether we talk about Louisville, now Baltimore, everywhere he's gone, Lamar Jackson has shined. He was a highly recruited player in Florida. He won the Heisman at Louisville. And he's currently a 2-time MVP in the NFL. He also, Thursday's game, became the third player in NBA or NFL history he became the third most. He has the third most rushing yards in NFL history, just trailing Cam Newton and Michael Vick. That's what Lamar Jackson has done in just a short period of time. And unlike someone like Jordan Love, which we just spoke on, we saw greatness in Lamar Jackson very early. Nearly his first season as a full-time starter, which I think was his second season, Lamar Jackson showed us exactly how good he could be. So when you get to this game, And you hear all the chatter as to how good can Lamar Jackson be. There's only one team that is his hurdle at this point. Lamar Jackson has to beat the guy, which is Patrick Mahomes. That is because it seems like outside of winning a Super Bowl, Lamar Jackson has checked every single box, whether people want to admit it or not. He's checked every single box but that Patrick Mahomes Kansas City Chiefs box. What is that Patrick Mahomes Kansas City Chiefs box? Lamar Jackson apparently is 20-1 against the NFC. Lamar Jackson has a winning record, I think, against every team in the NFL outside of 3. The Tennessee Titans, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Kansas City Chiefs, as with Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback. In fact, Lamar Jackson now is 1-5 against Patrick Mahomes. Meaning, there's no denying how good Lamar Jackson is. No denying it. There's no denying that when we talk about some of the great quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson has a winning record against damn near everyone outside of Patrick Mahomes. Now, yes, I know he does not have I don't think he has a winning record against the Titans and the Steelers, but we're just talking about singular quarterbacks. Singularly, Lamar Jackson is 1-5 against Patrick Mahomes. And the expectation rises year after year for Lamar Jackson. Last year, the Ravens were arguably the second or third best team in football. There were good portions of the season where they were the best team. They had a historic defense. Lamar Jackson was obviously great enough to win his second MVP. Yet they could not beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. Going into Thursday's game, I don't know if you guys remember, but I said that Lamar Jackson doesn't necessarily have to win this game. It's just game one. I mean, I think last year game one is just game one. Obviously, you want to start the season on a good foot, but it's just game one. But I said that this game was a little bigger than just a game one. Even though I did not think Lamar Jackson and the Ravens had to win, what I did say was it had to be competitive. You can't get blown out. You can't look inferior on a field when a lot of people are saying that you're as close to Patrick Mahomes' peer as he's going to get. And I said that Lamar Jackson had to play well. That's just that's what has to happen. Again, I didn't say they had to win. I just said you can't leave any doubt. You can't come into or leave the game doubting how good Lamar Jackson is or how far away Lamar Jackson is compared to Patrick Mahomes, because I think it's a unilateral idea and a unilateral acceptance that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the world. I'm sorry. Number 2, because I totally forgot about the flag football guy. I'm sorry. I don't want to disrespect anybody. At the end of the game, Lamar Jackson threw for 273 yards and rushed for 122 yards. I think this is the 17th game in his career where he threw for over 100 yards and rushed for over 100 yards, which you don't obviously see a lot. In all intensive purposes, Lamar Jackson had a great game. If Lamar Jackson played anybody else, not named Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, there would be no question that he would leave the game as the MVP of that game. And 9 times out of 10, the Baltimore Ravens would win. But obviously, we're talking about that 10th time. We can talk about the last second catch that, if you want to harken back to Kevin Durant on the Brooklyn Nets going against the Bucks in the playoffs, and how Kevin Durant, I think it was game 7, a big toe. That big toe that was on the line, that's pretty much what we saw on Thursday night with Isaiah Likely, who also had the game of his life. Isaiah Likely had a game so well. That game was so good. You have people now saying that Isaiah Likely is probably the number 1 tight end on the Ravens, even with Mark Andrews, because Mark Andrews really didn't do anything the whole night. But we can talk about the toe that was out of bounds. That was an incredible pass and an incredible catch at the end of the game that a lot of people, I thought it was good until obviously they showed the replay. You can talk about the fact that Lamar Jackson put this team in position to win time after time again. They just came short. There's a lot of talking points you can take from this game. You can take the fact of Zay Flowers is kind of turning in, or has turned himself into a number 1 receiver. You can talk about the fact of, for some reason, which I don't understand why, they didn't really feature Derrick Henry, even though he did have a touchdown the first drive of the game. They didn't feature him as much as I thought they would, especially when he was touted as the I guess you can say, signee of the offseason. So I was kind of surprised that he didn't get as many touches, especially in that second half, that I thought he would. Now, you can also credit that to Steve Spagnuolo and the defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. They did an exceptional job stopping the run outside of Lamar Jackson. But I still kind of like going back to the AFC Championship, and that's another thing. When they abandoned the run for the AFC Championship, that really cost them dearly in that game. So I don't understand why they would abandon the run, especially after Derrick Henry, rushed for the touchdown, but that's neither here nor there. I think the biggest point I took from this game, and you hear it too. You hear it. You heard it on First Take. You heard it on whatever show. It's on FS1. You hear a lot of people talk about it. I said, you can't leave any doubt. And there was 2. Lamar Jackson did miss some wide receivers the entire night, but the 2 that is going to come back and haunt him, or came back and haunt him, was the one to Isaiah Likely in the corner of the end zone, where Lamar Jackson overthrew it and looked like Isaiah Likely broke his collarbone. But obviously he came back. But that Lamar Jackson overthrew that one. And the one that we thought was for Zay Flowers, but actually it was for Rashad Bateman. The one that Zay Flowers was wide open and Lamar Jackson just threw behind him, which then led to the Isaiah Likely catch that was obviously out of bounds. But, and I said it. I said, if you're Lamar Jackson, you don't have to win, but you can't leave any doubt. And I think Lamar Jackson had a great game. Obviously, it's tough, especially when your offensive line, who is new, pretty much, most of them are young. the offensive line did not do their job majority of the night. Yo, they had 7. Just the Chiefs alone. I mean, not the Chiefs. Just the Ravens alone had 7 illegal formations. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.